Welcome to English Practice Hub. In this video, you will both improve your English and understand one of the most powerful books ever written on strategy and human behavior, The 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene. This book is not about violence. It's about psychology, how to stay calm in chaos, how to lead, how to win without fighting. Greene shows that life itself is a battlefield in relationships, careers, and ambitions. And those who understand strategy succeed where others fall. If you want to develop mental strength, discipline, and the calmness of a true strategist, listen carefully and follow until the end. And before we begin, don't forget to follow English Practice Hub for more book summaries like this. Now, let's begin your journey into the 33 Strategies of War. Robert Greene begins the 33 Strategies of War by explaining a truth that most people avoid. Life is constant conflict. We fight battles every day to protect our dreams, to win opportunities, to overcome fear, or to survive pressure. These battles may not use weapons, but they still decide who grows and who collapses. He says that success and failure are not about luck, but about strategy. Strategy is the ability to stay calm when others panic, to see structure when others see chaos. It is not aggression, it is awareness. Greene calls this the grand strategy of life. It is not a single plan, but a mindset, thinking ahead, controlling emotion, and acting with patience. You must learn to observe life like a general watches a battlefield from a higher point of view. Most people lose not because they are weak, but because they are reactive. They let emotions guide them: anger, fear, pride, or guilt. These emotions turn small problems into disasters. A strategist, however, learns to pause. They observe before acting, think before reacting, and strike only when the timing is right. Greene says, the greatest warriors are not violent. They're disciplined. They fight only when it matters. They win before the battle even begins, by understanding human nature. He uses the story of Napoleon Bonaparte to show this mindset. Napoleon could look at a map and imagine the movement of armies days in advance. He didn't rush into fights. He created conditions where victory was inevitable. Never fight the last war, he said, meaning never repeat the same tactics blindly. Each situation demands a new plan. Greene reminds us that this approach is not just for generals. It applies to artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone facing resistance. Every creative act, every business launch, every decision under pressure, these are small wars. And like all wars, they are won by strategy, not emotion. Then Greene introduces the first major strategies, mental tools that shape the way you see life. 1. Declare war on your enemies, the polarity strategy. You cannot grow without opposition. You need an enemy, something that challenges you and forces you to sharpen your strength. This enemy doesn't have to be a person. It can be your own weakness, laziness, or fear. Defining what you stand against gives you direction. Greene writes, an undefined enemy is a wasted struggle. When you face a clear opponent, your energy focuses like a laser. 2. Resist the downward pull of group thinking, the guerrilla war of the mind strategy. The world pressures you to conform. People around you will say, do it our way. Don't take risks. But the strategist must think independently. You can work with others, but your mind must remain free. When you start agreeing with the crowd too easily, you lose your perspective. Independence of mind is your greatest weapon. 3. Place yourself on death ground, the commitment strategy. Greene says that people fight hardest when there is no way to escape. When soldiers are trapped and can't retreat, their fear turns into unstoppable energy. He calls this death ground energy. If you give yourself too many options, you become soft. But when you commit completely, when failure is not an option, you become powerful. In life, this means cutting off the easy exits. If you want to start a business, stop testing forever, commit. If you want to change careers, stop waiting for perfect timing, act. The mind wakes up only under real pressure. Greene also introduces the inner war, the fight against self-doubt and emotion. You cannot command others until you command yourself. The inner enemy is fear, insecurity, and ego. If you lose this inner battle, every external victory will be temporary. He writes, "To win any war, you must first declare war on your own emotions." You do not have to live in anger or constant fight mode. True warriors use discipline and strategy, not aggression. They remain calm, flexible, and detached. They see life as a chessboard. Every piece has a purpose. Every move is calculated. Greene ends this part with a lesson that defines the entire book. The warrior of the mind wins battles without blood. Their victories come from clarity, patience, and timing. You cannot control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. And that is the essence of strategy, control in the middle of chaos. Once you have accepted that life is a battlefield, Robert Greene says the next step is learning how to attack, not with violence, but with strategy, timing, and precision. The offensive strategist doesn't rush or strike blindly. Every move has purpose. Every step is designed to gain advantage without wasting energy. Greene reminds us that offense is not about aggression. It's about initiative. Most people wait. They wait for permission, for luck, for the right moment. The strategist acts first. They control momentum. He writes, "Waiting for the perfect moment is the strategy of defeat. The strategist makes the moment perfect." The offensive mindset begins with clarity, knowing exactly what you want and what stands in your way. Once that's clear, you plan your advance. But unlike emotional people, you don't move in straight lines. Strategy is about deception, flexibility, and surprise. Greene introduces several offensive principles that apply in any kind of war: business, creativity, politics, or daily life. 1. The blitzkrieg strategy. Overwhelm resistance with speed and shock. Greene explains that when you move faster than your opponent can think, you destroy their ability to react. The German army in World War II used blitzkrieg, lightning war, to confuse enemies through speed and coordination. In life, this means acting with sudden bursts of focus and energy. Instead of small, hesitant steps, launch with intensity. Surprise people with your boldness. They will freeze, overanalyze, and lose momentum. He writes, "Speed is the essence of war. Move before the enemy wakes." If you start a new project, don't overplan. Move quickly, gather attention, and adjust later. Action creates information. Momentum becomes your ally. 2. The center of gravity strategy. Strike where it hurts most. Not all attacks, are equal. Many people waste time fighting on too many fronts, arguing, multitasking, reacting to noise. Greene says a strategist finds the center of gravity, the one point that holds everything together, and aims there. In business, it might be a key competitor. In self-development, it might be your biggest weakness. In relationships, it might be communication. Once you identify that center, you concentrate your energy like a laser. You stop scattering attention. You hit once, cleanly and hard. This strategy teaches focus. Greene writes, "The successful warrior wins with economy of effort, maximum effect with minimum movement." 3. The feign madness strategy. Appear weak to hide your strength. This ancient tactic was used by Sun Tzu and Ulysses. The idea is simple. When people think you are harmless, they reveal their plans. Pretend confusion, hide ambition, let others underestimate you. Then, when they relax, strike. In modern life, this means not showing all your abilities at once. Stay silent, observe, and let others expose their weaknesses. Overconfidence blinds them. Patience empowers you. Greene warns that pride is the enemy of intelligence. If you must choose between appearing clever or being clever, always choose the second. He writes, "The greatest victory is when they never saw it coming." 4. The chain reaction strategy. Set events in motion and let momentum work for you. Greene teaches that a single move can trigger a wave of consequences. Instead of controlling everything directly, learn to set up systems that multiply your power. Create ideas, projects, or relationships that keep growing even when you step away. In war, it's called momentum. In life, it's called leverage. The strategist knows how to start something small that grows on its own, a habit, a business, and influence network. Your effort multiplies because you think ahead. He says, small actions done strategically create unstoppable motion. 5. The counterattack strategy. Use their strength against them. Greene reminds us that sometimes defense becomes offense. When someone attacks, don't resist directly, redirect. Like in martial arts, the strategist uses the enemy's energy to throw them off balance. If someone criticizes you, stay calm and use their words to reveal their insecurity. If a competitor copies you, innovate faster. If life pushes you back, turn the push into a launch. Every attack contains opportunity. Every obstacle hides an opening. Greene writes, "The strategist never fights force with force. They fight energy with intelligence." By the end of this section, Greene makes one thing clear. Aggression without control is chaos. A real strategist attacks with purpose. They never fight battles they don't need. They don't burn energy on ego or emotion. The goal is not to destroy others, but to move forward without being stopped. You act boldly, but you think calmly. You fight only when victory brings progress. He ends a chapter with a reminder that sounds like ancient wisdom. Offense is the art of creating your own future instead of reacting to it. Those who wait for luck will always serve those who act with strategy. Robert Greene explains that in every kind of war, military, political, emotional, or personal, there are two kinds of power: the power to attack and the power to endure. Most people think victory comes from aggression, but real strength is in defense, in staying calm, focused, and unbreakable while others fall apart. He writes, "The ultimate form of power is in vulnerability. You win not by fighting harder, but by making yourself impossible to defeat. The defensive strategist is like a mountain, still, patient, and grounded. They don't waste energy reacting to every attack. Instead, they let the enemy exhaust themselves while observing quietly. Then, when the right moment comes, they move with precision. Greene explains that defense is not weakness. It is active control. It means protecting your energy, your focus, and your emotions so they cannot be used against you. He divides defensive strategy into several timeless lessons that can be used in any area of life. 1. The defensive mindset. Build a fortress around your emotions. Greene says that most battles are lost inside the mind. When people insult you, betray you, or challenge you, the emotional reaction, anger, fear, revenge, breaks your balance. Once you lose control of emotion, you lose strategy. So, the first step of defense is inner protection. You must build an invisible fortress around your emotions. Don't react immediately. Pause. Watch. Ask yourself, what is the goal of this attack? Often, people provoke you not to win, but to make you lose focus. Greene writes, the calmest person in the room always has the advantage. This is true in arguments, business, and even relationships. The person who stays calm controls the rhythm. 2. The counterbalance strategy. Turn weakness into strength. Greene explains that defense is not only about resistance, it's about transformation. Every weakness hides a potential advantage. If you're underestimated, use surprise. If you're cornered, use desperation. If you are behind, use unpredictability. He tells the story of Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general who defeated Rome again and again. His army was smaller, but he used the mountains, weather, and terrain to his advantage. He didn't fight Rome's way. He forced Rome to fight his way. This is defensive mastery, adapting faster than the enemy expects. In life, it means turning disadvantages into creative leverage. If you lack resources, use imagination. If you lack power, use patience. Greene writes, you can't control your position, but you can control your reaction to it. That's where power begins. 3. The fluid defense. Be like water. Rigid defense breaks. Fluid defense flows. Greene borrows from the wisdom of Sun Tzu and Bruce Lee. Be like water. Take the shape of whatever contains you. This means being flexible instead of stubborn. When circumstances change, you adapt instantly. A rigid person argues with reality. A strategist adjusts to it. Greene reminds us that survival depends on movement. When attacked, don't fight the wave. Move with it, let it pass, and use its energy to return stronger. This is psychological judo, letting your opponent's force serve your strategy. 4. The defense of time. Patience as a weapon. In war, time is often more powerful than any weapon. Greene says most enemies destroy themselves if you give them enough rope. When you stay patient, you see their rhythm, their habits, their weaknesses. Eventually, they reveal themselves. He writes, time is the great equalizer. The one who controls time controls victory. In daily life, this means learning to pause before reacting, to wait for your moment. People who rush always make mistakes. Patience is power disguised as stillness. 5. The strategic withdrawal, retreat to advance. A defensive strategist knows that sometimes the best move is to step back. Retreat is not surrender, it is preparation. Greene calls this retreat with purpose. When you're under pressure, you can't think clearly. By stepping away, even briefly, you recover perspective. It's like a chess player taking a step back to see the whole board. Many people lose because they refuse to withdraw. They keep pushing until they collapse. The wise know when to pause, regroup, and strike again later. Greene explains that defensive strategy is also about protecting your identity. People will try to define you, insult you, label you. If you accept their definitions, they control you. But if you stay grounded in your purpose, their words lose power. He says, never fight battles that do not matter. Let small attacks die in silence. This is how great leaders survive. They choose which wars are worth their energy. You can't win every argument. You can win your peace. Greene ends this part with a reminder that defense and offense are two sides of the same coin. He writes, defense without attack becomes stagnation. Attack without defense becomes destruction. The master knows when to hold and when to strike. True power lies in balance. Unshakable calm combined with quiet precision. When you reach that balance, nothing can defeat you. Robert Greene explains that the most dangerous wars are not fought on battlefields. They are fought inside the mind. The strategist who masters psychological war can win without using force. They control perception, emotion, and belief. Greene says, the mind is the battlefield of modern life. Those who control attention control reality. Psychological war is not about cruelty or manipulation for pleasure. It is about survival in a world full of persuasion, noise, and hidden competition. In work, love, or politics, people try to influence you constantly through fear, guilt, or charm. If you are unaware, you become a pawn. But if you learn the rules, you become the player. Greene teaches that the goal of psychological war is simple: control the narrative. If you define how people see the situation, you control how they act. 1. The false flag strategy: appear friendly, attack when they least expect. Greene explains that deception is a tool, not a sin. Great strategists like Talleyrand and Lincoln knew that appearing harmless is often more effective than direct conflict. When people believe you're on their side, they lower their defenses. You gain access, information, and trust, all without resistance. In daily life, this means learning to observe quietly instead of announcing your intentions. Smile, listen, agree, but plan internally. By the time others realize what you are doing, it's already too late to stop you. He writes, you cannot fight enemies who don't see you as an enemy. 2. The mirror strategy: reflect their emotions to control their reactions. Greene says that humans are emotional mirrors. When someone feels seen or understood, they trust you. The strategist uses this natural tendency to guide behavior. If you want to calm someone, lower your voice and slow your tone. They'll unconsciously match your rhythm. If you want to reveal their motives, agree with them and watch what they add. Greene explains that this is not manipulation. It's emotional intelligence used consciously. By reflecting emotion, you control the tempo of the interaction. He writes, the person who defines the emotional tone defines the conversation. 3. The divide and conquer strategy: separate alliances to control power. Every strong group hides tension. Greene says a strategist uses those natural conflicts instead of fighting them directly. In war, generals separate the enemy's forces. In life, you separate their opinions, alliances, or certainties. When two powerful people disagree, don't choose sides. Instead, feed both perspectives quietly. Let them weaken each other while you stay calm in the center. Greene notes that this is not cruelty, it's realism. Power always divides itself. The wise use division to maintain stability. 4. The fear strategy. Create respect through controlled distance. Greene warns that too much familiarity kills authority. When people get too comfortable with you, they lose respect. The strategist maintains mystery, enough distance to command attention. He calls this strategic coldness. You don't show anger or desperation. You show control. You don't chase approval. You create presence. Greene writes, "Fear is not cruelty. It is the shadow of respect." Leaders who are too friendly lose obedience. Those who mix warmth with quiet distance inspire loyalty and caution at the same time. In life, this means setting clear boundaries. Don't explain everything. Don't justify every choice. Mystery protects your energy. 5. The unpredictability strategy. Be mysterious, be fluid, be hard to read. Greene says predictability is death in strategy. When people can read your moves, they can prepare for them. The strategist keeps opponents off balance by being flexible and surprising. Sometimes you are calm, sometimes fierce, sometimes patient, sometimes fast. They never know what's next, so they waste energy guessing. He writes, "Predictability is the enemy's map. Confusion is your camouflage." This doesn't mean being chaotic. It means being fluid, like weather. Change rhythm when needed. Break patterns before others use them against you. In this part, Greene explains that psychological war is not about destroying others, but about self-protection and control. If you can't control your own mind, someone else will. If you can't shape how people see you, they will define you their way. He concludes, "The greatest victory is the one invisible to all, the war won in silence." Mastering the psychology of war means mastering attention, your own and others. You win not through dominance, but through calm awareness. Robert Greene explains that the most dangerous warriors in history were not the strongest or the most disciplined. They were the most creative. They broke rules, confused their enemies, and turned chaos into opportunity. He calls this unconventional warfare, the art of using surprise, deception, and imagination to gain advantage over predictable opponents. Most people fear disorder. They want life to be simple, stable, and clear. But Greene says that real strategy begins where comfort ends. The great strategist feels calm in chaos because chaos hides possibilities. He writes, "When others lose their heads, you will find your moment." 1. The guerrilla strategy. Stay small, move fast, strike unexpectedly. Greene begins with the lesson of guerrilla warfare, fighting a big opponent using small, flexible moves. He reminds us that power often makes people lazy. The stronger someone becomes, the more predictable they act. They rely on routines and expect the world to follow their rhythm. But the guerrilla, the small, agile force, never fights directly. They attack from shadows, vanish, and attack again from another direction. In life, This means using creativity instead of size. Don't compete where others are comfortable. Find the blind spots they don't see. He writes, "In a world of giants, agility is your armor." For example, when large companies ignore small markets, that's where new ideas are born. When people dismiss you, that's where you find freedom. Invisibility is not weakness, it's strategy. 2. The chain of chaos strategy. Create confusion, then bring order. Greene explains that people crave certainty. When something breaks their expectations, they freeze. A strategist can use this shock to reset the field. If you face a difficult situation, create a little controlled chaos. Something unpredictable that forces everyone to react. While they focus on confusion, you reorganize things your way. He says, "Disorder is the tool of the artist and the warrior. Use it wisely. The key is control. You don't live in chaos, you guide it. You create storms, not to destroy, but to clean the air." 3. The strategy of feints. Show them one thing, do another. Greene explains that deception is the oldest trick in war, yet it remains the most effective. When people think they understand your plan, they stop paying attention. You can use this blindness. Show them a false target, something dramatic but harmless, while your real action happens elsewhere. In war, this might mean a fake attack to draw defense away. In business, it could be a decoy idea while your real project develops quietly. He writes, "The strategist wins not by strength, but by imagination." You must always be 2 steps ahead in perception. This works because humans crave predictability. When you break patterns, their logic collapses. 4. The strategy of fluid roles. Become whatever the situation demands. Greene says that a rigid identity is a trap. People who insist, "This is just who I am," limit their options. But the strategist can wear any mask, play any role. They adapt. Leader, follower, rebel, servant, whatever the moment requires. He calls this the chameleon principle. A true strategist blends into any environment, collects information, and acts invisibly until it's time to strike. In personal life, this means being socially flexible. Don't show your full beliefs everywhere. Observe first, act second. People who can shift roles without losing their core gain power in every social environment. He writes, "Adaptation is the highest form of strength." 5. The strategy of the unorthodox. Break patterns to force new realities. Greene explains that every system grows old. Methods that once worked eventually fail because everyone copies them. The master of unconventional war keeps reinventing the game. When you feel trapped, don't play harder. Change the rules. When others expect logic, use emotion. When they expect fear, use humor. When they prepare for competition, show collaboration, then pivot. He says, "The unexpected move breaks resistance before it begins." Innovation is not random. It comes from deep understanding of old patterns and courage to twist them. Most people wait for permission to be creative. The strategist doesn't wait. They create new maps while others follow old ones. Greene closes this part by saying that unconventional warfare is about freedom. When you stop fearing mistakes, you gain power. When you stop obeying every rule, you see reality more clearly. He writes, "The battlefield belongs to the bold, not because they are reckless, but because they move while others hesitate." Every act of creativity is an act of war against routine. Robert Greene explains that strategy without strength is just theory. You can have perfect plans, brilliant ideas, and clever moves, but without discipline, everything collapses. That's why every true strategist must also become a warrior of the mind. The warrior spirit is not about violence or domination. It's about endurance, the ability to face fear, pain, and pressure without breaking. It's about training your emotions the same way soldiers train their bodies, through repetition, awareness, and purpose. Greene writes, "Courage is not absence of fear. It is the decision that something else matters more than fear." He says that the battlefield of modern life is not made of bullets and bombs. It's made of deadlines, disappointments, betrayals, and uncertainty. The people who rise are not the most talented. They're the most mentally resilient. 1. The inner fortitude strategy builds strength through routine. Greene begins with discipline. He says that people imagine strength as something natural, but it's built day by day through small acts of control. Every time you resist distraction, delay gratification, or finish a task you dislike, you add a layer to your mental armor. He writes, "The mind grows stronger in resistance, just like a muscle." The warrior understands that comfort is the enemy. While others avoid difficulty, the strategist leans into it, not because they enjoy pain, but because they know it forges clarity. Create a simple discipline. Wake early, study deeply, finish what you start. The routine becomes your shield against chaos. 2. The fear conversion strategy. Turn anxiety into focus. Fear, Greene says, is energy, and energy can be redirected. When fear arrives, most people freeze or run. But the strategist transforms that energy into alertness, concentration, and power. He gives the example of General Ulysses S. Grant. Before every battle, Grant admitted his fear. He felt it completely, then turned it into focus. While others panicked, he became calmer, sharper, faster. You cannot eliminate fear. You must ride it. When you feel nervous before a challenge, don't push it away. Breathe deeply and think, "This means I'm alive. This is my edge waking up." He writes, "Fear sharpens the mind of the warrior. Comfort dulls it." 3. The endurance strategy. Stay in the fight longer than anyone else. Greene says the biggest victories go to those who simply last the longest. Talent can win a moment. Endurance wins the war. Most people quit not because they're defeated, but because they lose patience. The warrior knows that frustration, boredom, and doubt are part of the process. The longer you endure, the fewer competitors remain. He uses the story of Miyamoto Musashi, Japan's legendary swordsman. Musashi fought over 60 duels and never lost. His secret was not speed, it was stillness. He trained endlessly, staying calm even when exhausted. He wrote, "The ultimate aim of strategy is to be prepared for anything. Endurance is preparation. It's saying, I don't need to win today. I just need to keep going until they stop." 4. The detachment strategy. Let go of ego. Embrace purpose. Ego is the greatest enemy of the strategist. It wants recognition, praise, and control. But ego clouds judgment and weakens focus. Greene says, the warrior fights for purpose, not applause. When you focus on mission, not image, you become untouchable. Criticism, envy, and gossip no longer affect you. You act because it's right, not because it's popular. In this state, you are free. You can take risks without fear of embarrassment. You can lose without feeling worthless, because your value comes from your discipline, not other people's opinions. He writes, detach from outcome, attached to process. This is one of Greene's deepest teachings, freedom through focus. 5. The calm aggression strategy. Be peaceful in preparation, ruthless in execution. Greene teaches that the best warriors are calm before the fight, but deadly when it begins. Their peace comes from confidence, and their aggression comes from clarity. He explains that most people do the opposite. They panic before action and freeze during it. The strategist prepares quietly, studies the terrain, and then moves with total force at the right moment. It's the balance of yin and yang, stillness and fire, thought and motion. He writes, when the time for action arrives, hesitation is death. The warrior spirit is not loud. It's disciplined, silent, and exact. Preparation replaces fear. Confidence replaces doubt. At the end of this section, Greene connects the warrior spirit to modern life. Every day is a campaign of focus against distraction, purpose against comfort, growth against laziness. He says, the battlefield is everywhere, in your phone, your work, your habits, and your mind. Those who train their spirit daily will remain unbroken. Discipline is not punishment, it's power. Routine is not restriction, it's freedom. The warrior doesn't wish for easier battles, they wish for sharper skills. Robert Greene begins this chapter by quoting Sun Tzu, the ancient master of strategy. To subdue the enemy without fighting is the supreme excellence. He says the highest level of war is not destruction, it's persuasion. The greatest warriors win hearts before battles begin. They control perception so perfectly that enemies surrender willingly or never even realize they've lost. Greene calls this the art of winning without fighting. It is the ability to win through presence, words, and influence instead of force. This is the most elegant and powerful form of victory. 1. The seduction of influence. Make them want what you want. Greene explains that the most effective strategists don't impose their will. They inspire others to adopt it. Instead of arguing or demanding, they create desire. They show how cooperation benefits everyone, making resistance look foolish. He writes, control is not achieved by pressure, but by alignment. In everyday life, this means using persuasion over confrontation. If you want someone to follow your idea, make it feel like their idea. If you want change, don't force it. Guide it gently, like water shaping stone. This is how great diplomats, leaders, and even teachers win, through subtle guidance, not open battle. 2. The moral high ground strategy. Win with character, not tricks. Greene warns that manipulation and cruelty destroy their own creators. He says true power must come from inner balance, not deception. The strategist who wins with integrity gains lasting influence because people trust their leadership. He uses the example of Abraham Lincoln, who faced endless opposition yet never lost his humanity. Lincoln disarmed critics through empathy, humor, and reason. He never fought small fights. He saved his energy for what truly mattered: unity. Greene writes, "The moral high ground is the highest fortress. From there, every attack fails." To live strategically means choosing long-term respect over short-term advantage. Even your enemies should admire your discipline. 3. The strategic surrender. Turn defeat into a future victory. Sometimes Greene says, you must lose the battle to win the war. When you're overpowered, fighting back only leads to ruin. Instead, surrender gracefully, learn, adapt, and prepare for your return. He calls this the strategic surrender. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. By stepping back, you gain time. You let the opponent expose their arrogance. And when the moment is right, you strike again, stronger and smarter. He writes, retreat is the seed of revival. In daily life, this could mean staying silent during an argument you can't win, quitting a job that drains your energy, or walking away from toxic people. Sometimes peace is the most powerful move. 4. The flow strategy. Move with events, not against them. Greene says that people fail because they resist reality. They want control, so they fight time, luck, and circumstance. But the strategist learns to flow, to ride change instead of resisting it. He compares this to sailing. You don't control the wind, but you can control your sails. You use the energy of nature to move forward effortlessly. He writes, the wise fight only battles that exist. The fool fights the world itself. In business, this means adapting when markets change. In relationships, it means listening instead of arguing. In self-development, it means accepting your season, working with what is, not what you wish it was. When you move with life instead of against it, obstacles become opportunities. 5. The present strategy. Radiate calm power. Greene explains that sometimes you don't have to do anything at all. Your silence, your body language, your presence, all can project strength. He gives the example of Nelson Mandela. After years in prison, Mandela returned not with anger, but with unshakable calm. His presence alone transformed South Africa. He didn't have to shout or threaten. People could feel his power. Greene writes, presence is power without words. To develop presence, practice inner stillness. Speak less, observe more. Move slowly, deliberately. When you act from a calm center, people naturally follow. The one who controls their own energy controls the atmosphere of every room. In this section, Greene shows that peace and power are not opposites. True mastery combines them. Soft outside, steel inside. You no longer need to fight because your strength is self-evident. He writes, the ultimate strategist is invisible. They win without noise, without wounds, without hatred. Their power is felt, not seen. The greatest war, Greene concludes, is not against others. It's against ignorance, weakness, and fear. Once you master yourself, you've already won. Robert Greene ends the 33 strategies of war with a powerful message. The true purpose of all conflict is peace. He says that people misunderstand war. They think it's about defeating others. But the highest level of strategy is when you rise above the need to fight at all. Greene calls this state the peace of the warrior. It's not the peace of surrender or comfort. It's the peace that comes after you have faced every fear, every struggle, and mastered yourself. He writes, war reveals who you are. Peace reveals who you have become. When you've learned to think strategically, every challenge becomes part of your growth. You stop reacting to the world. You move in rhythm with it. The world may still be chaotic, but inside, you remain calm, steady, and sharp. This is the highest level of mastery, to live in the middle of the storm and stay unshaken. 1. The inner victory strategy: conquer yourself first. Greene says the only enemy that never disappears is yourself. Your fears, your laziness, your emotions, your doubts. These are the constant battles of life. Every great warrior, every leader, every creator must win this internal war again and again. If you lose control of your thoughts, you lose every other war. He writes, "Conquer the mind, and the world follows." Greene calls self-control the foundation of all external success. The mind trained through strategy becomes quiet and powerful. It doesn't chase validation or panic at failure. It simply acts, adjusts, and moves forward. Once you master this, life stops being a battlefield. It becomes a training ground. Every problem is a lesson. Every loss is feedback. 2. The long game strategy. Think in years, not moments. Most people chase fast wins and quick rewards. But Greene reminds us that everything valuable takes time. Reputation, skill, love, purpose. The strategist thinks in decades, not days. He says, impatience is the enemy of greatness. To live strategically means to see beyond today. Don't let small problems pull you from big visions. Every step, even failure, is progress if you stay consistent. He compares this to the Zen archers of Japan. They don't aim at the target. They aim at perfect form. When the form is right, the arrow finds its way naturally. Focus on the process, not the prize. Success becomes inevitable when patience becomes habit. 3. The detachment from outcome. Freedom through acceptance. Greene says the final freedom of the strategist is emotional independence. You stop measuring your worth by external results. You stop chasing control over things you can't control. When you accept uncertainty, you gain peace. You act fully, but you don't cling to outcomes. He writes, attachment to victory is the root of defeat. In life, this means doing your best, then letting go. You can plan perfectly, but reality always has its own rhythm. Instead of resisting it, learn to dance with it. This detachment is not apathy, it's wisdom. You still care deeply, but you're no longer controlled by fear or desire. That is the true calm of mastery. 4. The renewal strategy. Begin again and again. Greene explains that mastery is not a finish line. Even after success, the strategist returns to being a student. Every ending is a new beginning. He writes, there are no final victories, only eternal practice. When you reach peace, you use it as a base to grow further. You reinvent yourself before the world forces you to. You start new projects, explore new ideas, teach others, and keep moving. The strategist's goal is not to rest, it's to evolve endlessly. That is how peace stays alive, through motion. 5. The legacy strategy. Become an example, not a memory. Greene's final teaching is about influence. The master's duty is to leave behind not followers, but thinkers. The best legacy is not fame or money, it's clarity. He says, when people remember your strength, they copy it. When they remember your wisdom, they grow from it. Share your experience. Guide others through what you've learned. But never preach. Teach by example. Your calmness, your discipline, your balance will speak louder than any words. This is how you win the only war that matters, the war for meaning. Greene closes the book with one of his most powerful reflections. In the end, strategy is not about power, but about understanding. The goal of war is peace. The goal of mastery is freedom. The strategist wins by transcending the need to win. When you no longer chase control, you find it. When you no longer fight to prove yourself, you become unstoppable. You stop acting out of fear and start living with purpose. And that, Greene says, is the real victory, the peace of the warrior. You just listened to the 33 Strategies of War by Robert Greene, one of the most powerful guides ever written on human behavior, discipline, and psychological strength. If you enjoyed this lesson, make sure to subscribe to English Practice Hub, where every book summary helps you grow both your English skills and your mindset. Remember, strategy is not about conflict. It's about clarity. Train your mind, control your emotions, and stay calm in the middle of chaos. Because in the end, the greatest victory is not over others. It's over yourself. This is English Practice Hub, where learning English also means learning power.